last year, and then we raised funding and launched, and yeah, I mean things are going great currently.
Congrats on all the success. Eric, share with us a little bit more about Injective Protocol.
Yeah, sure. So at Injective, we're building a fully decentralized derivatives exchange, scaling a lot of transaction from Ethereum onto our own Cosmos native EVM layer and PEG-Zone. Currently, we've built a very highly parameterizable futures protocol where anyone can create almost any type of market on top of us using some of our derivative primitives. That also enables, through a community effort and through our researchers, through our team effort, we've created more than 20 markets during a period of testnet with a lot of very unique and interesting market types. For example, yield farming derivatives, stocks, forex, just in general, a lot of really interesting indices, and the speed and time of us like executing this has been extremely exciting for us. And yeah, now onwards to the next phase of testnet, where we get to really allow the community to dive deep into every single aspect of the governance aspect of layer of it, the proof of stake layer, and just in general, maintaining, ensuring that our protocol is fully decentralized at day one.
Yeah, that's super exciting, and congrats on all the success with Solstice. So Injective and UniLend's new partnership has facilitated many new and exciting options for DeFi as a whole. In recent months, Injective introduced a number of novel markets never before seen in the crypto industry. Now users can lend out these derivative products using UniLend. Eric, tell us a little more about the partnership. Will Injective create new derivative products that can utilize the assets being used on UniLend?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things is that our derivative positions can be essentially transferable and tokenizable. So this is something that we really look forward for developers on top of our protocol to really build out. And obviously us to explore with a lot of other partners as well, is that once we come up with a certain standard for these derivatives and futures protocol, our positions can be tokenized. And more interesting yet, like if we tokenize another lending position or into a money market position, either through like an LP style token, then those can be also potentially collaterals, becoming a coin margin futures for a lot of these money market indices and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. Chandrash, this partnership is also an extraordinary step for UniLend. Your team has continued to lead the way in DeFi by allowing users to yield farm Injective's derivatives products on UniLend. Tell us more about this partnership and what it means for the UniLend community.
Yeah, so see, one of the biggest advantage of our platform is that we are offering the permissionless listing for all the tokens. If you are there on Ethereum chain, you can come and list on our platform, provide liquidity, and lending and borrowing can start. So like Eric has also mentioned it exactly right. There are some other use cases also. If I have to take example of Mirror, they are tokenizing stocks. Those stocks are going to be listed on our platform, and we will provide the lending and borrowing opportunity. And obviously there are so many arbitrage opportunities which are there which can happen. Same goes for Injective protocol also. We personally believe that the supply and demand market is obviously going to be there, and we are building a platform which can facilitate the same thing. So the assets which are being getting tokenized by Injective protocol, I personally feel that there is a huge market for those tokens, and once they list on our platform, there will be huge volumes which will be coming. I mean, people can employ different strategies around lending and borrowing if someone wants to short and long any of their positions. And with the tokenization with Injective team is offering on the Ethereum chain to us, it opens numerous possibilities for all the arbitrage opportunities and all the traders who are looking to leverage on this opportunity. Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty excited for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the community is looking forward to all of that super soon. So Chandrash, congrats on UniLend's successful launch of Alpha Protocol. Prior to the public testnet launch, you guys also launched the community testing. What were some key takeaways from the selected alpha tester? How does this speak to the potential of UniLend even at this early stage? Sorry. I'd also like to leave the space open for Eric to share his thoughts on what this can mean for the DeFi community.
Yes, so overall, what we have seen that we have a very active community. Like when we launched this early access program, there were around 30,000 people who signed up for it. So we gave this early opportunity to around 500 folks and received a lot of feedback in terms of improving the user experience on our platform. And we also received some of the feedback in terms of different strategies which users want us to automate. So overall, currently when we opened this to community, we realized that this is one of the very good thing which we have done for our protocol, because even before going live we are getting the feedback from the user exactly what they want, and we are able to reiterate our protocol in a way which our community exactly wants. So overall, I mean, received really good feedback in terms of the usability of the protocol. And yeah, overall we are coming up with our beta soon based on all the feedbacks which community has given and some improvements which we wanted to do on our protocol. So yeah, it worked out really well for us.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. So guys, decentralized finance has gathered the attention of investors as in the last few weeks, the move by Robinhood led many to see some of the red flags concerning centralized exchanges and centralized finance. What do you think are the biggest challenges DeFi companies face when working to onboard said new users? We'll start with Chandrash, and then we'll move on to Eric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, what first of all, like everyone is saying currently on crypto Twitter, that everyone should have the opportunity, and it should be, in users and when they want to trade any asset, if they want to buy or if they want to sell. The recent event which has happened, we have seen that platforms like Robinhood, due to their own reasons, they are trying to control the trading activities, whereas it never happens on decentralized platforms like Uniswap and the upcoming platforms like UniLend and Injective also. So what I mean, decentralized finance is already having lot of hopes from the audience currently, and we have seen that good traction is already coming. If you go back maybe a year, there was no liquidity on any decentralized finance protocol, but now we have more than 37 billion plus liquidity logged into this DeFi protocols, which in itself proves that lot of audiences, currently coming and believing what we are doing. What I personally believe, that this this particular space is becoming more and more efficient. At the same time, with time, it is becoming more and more secure. So over the period of time, if I have to say, maybe let's say 5 years down the line or 2 3 years down the line, we will be sitting at an ecosystem which is much more safe and secure than what it is currently. And at the same time, the proper toolings and the multiple toolings and multiple protocols which help people automate the different activities they want to do. Once all this comes and the system becomes more and more concrete, we are going to see huge number of users ultimately moving to the decentralized platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, so I think like the issue with Robinhood isn't just indicative of the current like the traditional finance infrastructure. It's also indicative of TradFi as a whole kind of going out of date. Like Robinhood itself as an app kind of really failed to serve its customer, really failed to serve its ethos. They even though they say that they're recent, they could have done they could have done it a lot better. Um, and when people started digging deeper, they kind of realized this entire settlement infrastructure is just, mind-boggling. You have a clearinghouse that doesn't clear and settle most of the trades until 2 days later. Deposit requirements are usually insane. And honestly, a lot of this problem wouldn't have been an issue if we have something with a more instant finality like crypto. So I think that that's kind of like the general issue around the stock market in general. The base layer infrastructure is somewhat extremely outdated at this moment. And really, in order for us to really bring in the larger crowd and also, really present our value prop to the greater audience, we would have to basically really tailor the user experience, really be the champion of user experience, to make sure that a lot of the issues and frictions when it comes to onboarding crypto is it makes the final experience post onboarding worth it. So this is why we at Injective is working so hard on building a basic interface, building a variety of interfaces, so this way every single type of audience can find their own fit. And a lot of users might be kind of intimidated by the number of markets we're offering. And this is why, like one future I see for Injective's ecosystem is that there's going to be multiple interfaces focusing on specific subsector of, the trading and offering. For example, the most interesting one, obviously, that captures retail eyes are stock trading. Then we could have a specifically interface just for this, where people don't really get intimidated by those like 20 plus derivative markets, and rather just focusing on stocks and some of the major BTC or ETH perpetual stock pairs.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. I think the whole community is really excited to see that come about, and excited for mainnet. In 30 seconds or less, I'd like you both to say quickly what the future of finance looks like to you. Eric, go.
Honestly, I mean, the fact that we don't know is what makes it really exciting. Again, like previously, the financial infrastructure is really set on a few assumptions, right? The U.S. system runs on pretty much credit and faith. The settlement cycle for SWIFT and a lot of wires, it's always going to be T+1 or T+2. The value transfer is always going to be the final value transfer is always going to have this lag, and just in general, there's going to be there has been a lot of middlemen when it comes to securing this process, and even underwriters, right? Just in general, building this DeFi infrastructure, building this kind of like almost fully peer-to-peer direct access to the counterparty alone, this feature alone is really going to change how we interact with money as a whole. And DeFi is kind of like really the first layer of value prop that we show to users. Hey, we can provide the exact same infrastructure or the exact same feature as traditional finance, and we can provide a certain level of APY that makes it extremely attractive to you. And this is a protocol as well.
Definitely. Chandrash?
Yeah, so I mean, whatever Eric said, I totally agree with it. And just to answer in one line, what I see, like, if you mention finance to someone currently, he will definitely understand it as traditional finance. So the future of decentralized finance, if I have to say, so I see it like, when we call it finance only, we no more call it decentralized finance. So the adoption goes to that level that if someone speaks about finance, by default, everyone is considering it as a decentralized finance. Yeah.
That'll be an exciting day. So this question is for you, Chandrash. What trends do you see coming up in crypto Indian markets? What type of incentives and bottlenecks do you see companies facing when entering the crypto ecosystem in India?
Mhm. So, over the period, what I have seen, like apart from many events which happen from, Ethereum ecosystem, we also have ETH India, which is currently also ongoing into the Indian ecosystem. And we have seen a lot of good projects coming out of this kind of hackathons, which are coming over in India. So in terms of development, what we have seen that we have a really niche talent in this particular area. And there are a lot of folks who are currently building, they are making very valuable contribution to the complete Ethereum ecosystem at the same time to the complete blockchain ecosystem. We have so many good projects, like if I have to name like WazirX, which was acquired by Binance, then we have CoinDCX, BitPNS. There is a lot of centralized exchange which are providing the much needed infrastructure in terms of dealings into crypto. Then apart from that, there are many other companies like, Polygon, which was previously Matic. They are totally driving the Ethereum ecosystem, the layer 2 narrative, and they have so many tabs already live onto that. Apart from that, we have a lot of projects like UniLend is there, DeFi Dollar is there, Frontier is there, who are either working on a protocol, or they are working on a supporting layer, where like Frontier is building a wallet where you can save all your assets and have it on the go on a mobile app. So overall, what we have seen that the Indian blockchain ecosystem has grown really big in last 2 years. There are right folks who are working in the right direction. All the support is there, and we are seeing that this ecosystem is growing bigger day by day. We see a lot of folks are interested into this technology, either building something, and overall we see that this particular space is going to be dominated by a lot of Indian developers in coming years, because we have that kind of force available with us. Apart from this, in terms of bottlenecks, yes, I mean, we still have the regulatory uncertainties. So to certain extent, this question is there always in the mind of builders or contributors or maybe traders, that what about the uncertainty of regulation. But apart from this, I feel whoever I interact with, everyone seems to be very much motivated. And yeah, I mean, seems like this ecosystem is growing day by day in India.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to COVID leaving, and the rest of the ecosystem getting the opportunity to go down there and see it for themselves. So, Eric, Injective Solstice testnet has been highly successful with the addition of major unique markets, including yield farming, derivatives, Forex, Tesla, GME stocks, expiry futures, and diverse array of native crypto assets. What new innovations can traders expect to see in the third phase of the testnet? I'd like to invite Chandresh to also share his thoughts on what this can mean for the DeFi community.
Yeah, I think for Equinox, really, what we're showing is we're trying to present to to users, to community members, and tapping into much more broader members of our community beyond just traders, to really see the inner working of our protocol. So what we need to do when we launch a market, what's needed to be done, what are some of the parameters you need to specify, what are some of the potential data that you need to provide. This is really us kind of like giving away this type of opportunity, or just providing them with the opportunity to have the first look and have the first test at creating, let's say, a market, participating in governance, voting on whether to include this market, and how to learn about the fast track towards market creation, that doesn't require governance. So I would say that that's really what I'm really excited about. Is mainly because usually for incentivized testnet, you're really just testing very isolated things, especially on a consensus level. And because Injective has such a multitude of moving parts, there's the EVM layer, there's the Pexon layer, there's also the underlying proof of stake layer. That makes it necessary for us to really be creative about everything, and really to engage with the users. That's also why we're allowing for staking of like real INJ tokens. So this way, like the process and the user experience and the flow is as close to the mainnet as possible. So essentially, how it works is that you stake in INJ. That INJ will be withdrawable after the unbounded period, just like mainnet. And then the exact amount will be reflected on our testnet, and then you can do a lot of things on it, and you'll be earning a pretty stable APY. And if you do more things on top of it, participate in events, your APY will be boosted up to 5x. So it's extremely interesting. It's something we're really looking forward to do, and there's there are quite a few interesting surprises along the way for the users.
That's super exciting. I'm sure all of the Injective community is can't wait actually to see all of this. Well, last question, guys. I would like to leave the floor open for you both to chat about anything else you think might be important for the community. So, yeah, go ahead, Eric. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, so maybe, I will ask. So first of all, Eric, we had multiple interactions in past also, so really glad to meet you at last. One thing I wanted to understand, so like, I understand that you guys are not on Ethereum, but yeah, you are an added layer on top of Ethereum. So let's say if I want to do any trade or anything, do I need to move my assets from Ethereum to a different chain and then I will be able to do it, or how it will work?
Yeah, exactly. So essentially we have this modification of the FIA PEGI module from Cosmos. So this will be a module where it kind of relays the information from a certain contract or on-chain state on Ethereum onto our own chain. And
Mhm.
obviously this isn't like an independent row. This is more of a, it ties back to the consensus of the row. Essentially how it works is that, once you deposit into a certain contract, in our case, it's, a PEGI contract sitting on Ethereum, your balance is reflected upon Injective. And same case as vice versa, where essentially if you want to withdraw, you'll be withdrawing back to Ethereum, along with, kind of like signature verification.
Okay. Okay, yeah, this is interesting. I mean, looking at how things are going on Ethereum chain currently, the insane fees. I mean, this is going to be a very valuable contribution at current scenario in the stage. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to be discussed around L2. So we're not so our model is traditionally kind of like a sidechain model almost, where essentially there's a but it's also somewhat different in the sense that like that is probably our most important bridge slash peg zone between our chain and Ethereum, and it does our consensus or the slashing condition does rust kind of circulate around it. But that being said, like block production doesn't stop because Ethereum stopped. Like if Ethereum works, it just makes our relayers really confused. But it won't cause any compromising our own chain. So I would say, like our structure provides a lot more flexibility, and I know that Xtype has a similar structure when it comes to that, where essentially you scale a lot of transactions off of Ethereum. You don't necessarily submit the proof back to Ethereum, but you are secured by the on-chain consensus. Which if people are trusting this L2 solution, then then you're trusting on a consensus of the solution.
Hmm. Yeah. Nice.
Eric, could you touch a little bit upon Equinox and the recent announcement of Equinox staking?
Yeah. You want to talk about a name or?
Like what new things users can expect when testing it out?
Yeah, I mean, like users are just gonna move away from like the exchange interface. I don't think that's like what they're gonna spend most of their time on. What they're really gonna spend most of their time on is gonna be the governance interface, the staking dashboard. Like voting on a lot of different proposals, creating a market. We don't expect them to spend too much time trading on our exchange, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people still end up trading because after all, Injective is really trying to marry three types of community members, right? There's the traders, there's like the developers, there's also the market creators, which is mechanism designers who aren't necessarily traders. And so these three types are going to interact very tightly with each other. It's almost like let's say Nasdaq, where everyone has a vote to be listed. There's no like approval process. You're not really talking to a single party. You have to talk to millions and millions of people and telling them it's like, hey, like I have this idea for like a market. Please list me. In the beginning, to really bootstrap things, we do have a fast track process, and it's actually up to governance to determine whether to keep this fast track process. So there's a lot of interesting things. I think the important part of this is that it kind of extends well beyond just the trading aspect of it, just the exchange aspect of it. It's more about like the community gets to participate into the overall ecosystem, and they finally we want them to really get used to this so that we get as much participation in the governance in a lot of aspects as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something new for users, right? Because I mean, for so long they haven't really had a voice in this way, right? So it'll be really interesting and exciting to see just overall how users start interacting. Well, guys, unless either of you have any other topics you'd like to hit, I think this has been a great chat, and thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, for inviting. It was a great experience for me, and yeah, looking forward to work with you guys on multiple things.
Great. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, everyone.